All right, joining us right now is former Maharashtra Chief Minister, Mr. Prithviraj Chavan. Thank you very much, Mr. Chavan. What is happening in the Congress? Can you explain?
A very unfortunate decision by Ghulam Nabi Azad to leave the Congress party. I'm very saddened personally because he was a very close friend, a colleague. We worked together in the UPA government, UPA 1, UPA 2. And also on many party platforms, he was a General Secretary in charge of almost all the states in the country. And I had a pleasure of working with him. He was a secular face of the Congress party, a very senior leader who started his career with Mrs. Indira Gandhi. He worked with Rajiv Gandhi, he worked with Sonia Ji. And every time he was both in the ministry as well as in the very important function in the Congress party. Now, we were together, we were worried about the affairs of the Congress party, the repeated defeats of the Congress party, the 2 Lok Sabha elections. After that, almost 40 assembly elections we lost. Whenever we won the elections, we were not able to form the government, as in Goa and all that. Then recently, Assam, Kerala elections, then after that, Uttarakhand, UP, Punjab. The decisions that were taken obviously caused us to lose states which were ruling earlier. Now, we had demanded some discussion, and if you remember, exactly 2 years back, 23 of us had written a letter to Congress President Sonia Ji because it was not possible to meet us face to face due to the pandemic and other reasons. After a long wait, almost a month long wait trying to seek an appointment, we couldn't get. Therefore, we wrote a confidential letter. 23 of us, senior people, former union ministers, former working committee members, former chief ministers. But unfortunately, that letter got leaked. And a picture was painted that is a group of rebels who are ambitious, who want to take over the party and all sorts of nasty things. All we had written in that letter was that in order to take on Mr. Modi and Shah, we had to have a full-time president leading the Congress party, that we must have elections to the Congress party as per the Congress constitution, and there should be some introspection. What happened, how the decision-making process, who took the decisions, which caused us to lose election after election after election. After a few months, Mrs. Gandhi called us and we had a long fire meeting with her, and she agreed to hold internal elections to the Congress party. She agreed to hold a Chintan Shibir and also agreed to meet frequently. Meeting frequently could not be done, but she did assure us of holding an internal election and Chintan Shibir. Now, there is nothing in it except that honest desire that only Congress party can stop Modi and Shah. Then Congress party's historical responsibility to create a viable alternative to Mr. Modi, to bring a broad alliance of the opposition parties. That was the only option. We discussed also. Now, we hope that there will be some internal discussion, some changes could happen. But unfortunately, things did not happen.
But Mr. Chavan, you know, as a member of G23 yourself, do you feel that this should be an alarm bell for the Congress party? You see, the official response now is that GNA's DNA, GNA means Ghulam Nabi Azad, his DNA is modified and, you know, he's retaining his Lutyens bungalow. What does that mean? Almost casting aspersions on him. Do you feel that this will be an ideal response, or an amount of introspection will be the ideal response?
No, I think whatever you have said is very, very petty-minded and extremely dishonest and psychopathic reaction. People
no, by the way, this is the reaction of Mr. Jairam Ramesh. This is not what I am saying, sir.
No, I know that, but this reaction of the Congress party, whoever has given it, is very unfortunate, petty-minded. People have to go into the history of Ghulam Nabi Azad's service of the Congress party for the last 50 years. He has been elected member of the Congress party. This whole thing that we have given him so much is nothing but a Darbari attitude. After Congress, all we have been saying that Congress party should be run on democratic lines. Congress party has a constitution. Unfortunately, for the last 24 years, internal election to the Congress party, all the organs of the Congress party, like the working committee, the parliamentary board, the election committee, they have not been held. All we have been pleading with the Congress leadership is that in order to make the Congress vibrant again, to take on Mr. Modi and Shah, to stop country from going to the dictatorship which it is going, it has become a police state already. Congress party's historic responsibility to create a viable alternative.
But Mr. Chavan, one of the things you are saying is that the party should have its own president. Now we are hearing the party presidential elections have also been delayed. I mean, ever since Rahul Gandhi quit in 2019, the Congress does not have in 2022 a full-time president.
That's precisely the point we made in our 2020 letter, which 23 of us wrote. Unfortunately, that's not happening. All we're saying, I don't want to get into the details of what is written in Ghulam Nabi's 5-page letter. I don't want to cast any aspersions on anybody. People know what is happening, and I don't want to do. All I'm saying is what we had asked for was a election to the Congress party, because after all, if you are going to accuse Mr. Modi of dictatorial tendencies and taking the country to an undeclared, unconstitutional dictatorship, then shouldn't the Congress party function more democratically as per its own constitution, which has been functioning for 135 years? That's all we ask for.
Interesting.
And if Mr. Rahul Gandhi wants to become the Congress president, let him contest election. I'm sure he'll get 90% votes. Because Congress party, he's the most familiar face in the Congress party.
Correct.
But he has to be elected. If he has already quit, and he has already said so many times that he does not want to become a president, that no member of the Gandhi family would be a president. If you don't want to believe Mr. Rahul Gandhi, it's very unfortunate. If nobody is going to become the president from the Congress party, then let us have elections and get somebody elected.
Sure.
You nominate somebody, let him get elected. But let it be a democratic election, not only the Congress president, but all organs of the Congress party.
Okay.
That's our demand.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, for joining us with your views. Thank you so much.